You're such an asshole.
Good morning, children. Pajama Cappy here. And this episode brought to you by this book, How Not to Become a Millennial. There you go. Everyone go buy that book. Actually, it would be germane. That would solve everyone's problem. If everyone read that, it would solve all the problems financially speaking. There'd be other problems. But Gen Z would be like the saving generation you all think they're going to be as they're like stuck in their phones. All right, what we got here? Young man writes, disclaimer, I'm not asking for a specific fund stock investment advice. Good, because I can't give it. I'm a regular viewer of your channel and listener to your podcast. I know you can't give specific stock advice, and I have read your consulting waiver below. Well, you also signed it. That's the other thing. When you send me an email, you have to click agree to terms. So I got a good lawyer who hits me upside my head, calls me, what do you want now, asshole? She's a nice lady. I need to know what my options are in the event that the federal court appoints the Alzheimer's patient as president. I have a Roth IRA with investments spread across several mutual funds that have been kicking ass during the Trump presidency. They haven't been kicking ass, and it's not because of Trump. It's because we just printed off a lot of damn money. That's all it is. The value of your stocks and the value of your house didn't go up. They didn't go up. We just printed off more money. That's it. I'll need to move as quickly as possible to sell all my holdings if Joe and the host steal the election. I've had this Roth IRA for more than 5 years. I know the 5-year mark is important, but the account was sold from the original investment firm to another investment firm within the past 2 to 3 years. If that makes a difference, it doesn't. And they didn't sell it. They just transferred it. I mean, you still have your investments. Let's make the math easy. Assuming I clear out my mutual funds, leave me $60,000, I do plan to leave the funds in a money market account with an investment firm, unless all hell breaks loose and I need the cash. If the economy then ever stabilizes in the future and society and banking return to normal, am I limited to reinvesting that $60,000 at $6,000 a year over the next 10 years, or can I reinvest the entire $60,000 at once and in the mutual funds on my choice? All right, look. Unless you make a ton of money, okay? And unless you have a lot of money, I wouldn't worry about what's going to happen with the next 4 to 8 years under a Biden-Harris thing, all right? You got to make a lot of money. Your main risks are they're going to come for your income or they're going to come for your assets. Call it a wealth tax. And one of my main concerns, especially for you younger people, is that you spend all these years, Gen Zers and millennials, you vote for all these socialists. You invest all this money, okay, reliably, loyally into a Roth IRA. And then when you're old, you should be able to withdraw that tax-free once you reach the qualifying retirement age. And they're going to say, well, you know how we said we weren't going to tax it, we're going to tax it. Okay, that's one of my main concerns. Another main concern of mine is like anybody with X more, 250,000 or more, 500,000 or more, we're going to tax you on any withdrawals that you make. All right. Or we're just going to take your money. Do you have more than everybody, we're going to take, if you have 500,000, you get to keep 500,000, but we're taking everyone else's retirement for the Community Reinvestment Bailout Act. They'll come up with something very nice. But dude, that's not going to happen until you're in your 60s or 70s. Right? That's so far away that you don't have to worry about this. Unless you got like more than $250,000, they're not going to, because a revolt would happen. All the old people get pissed off. All the boomers and Gen Xers who actually do have some savings. You guys should try it sometime. They'd be like, what? No. And that would destroy the stock market. So that is not that likely to happen within the next 10 to 15 years, I'd say. So you could keep it in your IRA unless you had an egregious amount in there. But I don't see Biden or Harris. And thank God you got Biden and Harris and not Bernie Sanders, because Biden and Harris, it's Biden. He's old Sleepy Joe. They're just going to come at, he already said, we're going after people, 400,000 and evil corporations. Like, oh, wow. We're doing the evil corporations, even though they're lying down and sucking your leftist dick with diversity quotas and all this other crap. So he's out. They're just going to go for your income. So unless you're making a lot of money, I wouldn't worry about it, whether Harris and Biden. Don't liquidate it. You got to pay a 10% penalty tax because you're not retirement age. And they say, and then I'll put it in the money market. Oh, they won't steal that. I mean, if they're going to take your Roth IRA, look, here's what's going to happen. If they're going to go after retirement funds, they'll first go after non-retirement accounts. Because retirement, that's the old in middle. Oh, I got my fixed income people. That's horrific. They're going to say, well, we'll leave retirement funds alone. What we are going to go after are you people that have stock accounts because you don't really need those. I mean, you have your IRA, your 401ks. We'll leave that. But that's a bit excessive that you have your own stock account and you taking your money out of what should have some legal protections to it, politically and legally, and throwing it into a money market account to say, well, that's just money sitting there. You obviously don't need it. Leave it there. Because now if you take it out and put it in a money market fund or savings account, that's at a higher risk because that's easier to take. At least leaving it in an IRA, well, that's retirement. You're taking people's retirement. And the leftists, the Democrats will come out and say, oh, hang on. They're not that dumb. They're not that stupid. If they're going to tax assets, they're going to tax assets that aren't dedicated and earmarked for retirement. Under the guise that, well, people need to save for retirement, but those rich bastards who have $10,000 in a non-IRA, non-retirement, non-tax deferred account, well, that's obviously excess. So in my opinion, you're putting in a higher risk account to be confiscated and taxed. Let me see if there was any. Am I limited? Yeah. So you got 60,000. They're not going to come after you $60,000. Now, if that grows to 600,000 over the next 20, 30 years, they might come after that. Let's all. Yeah. So there's two items here. You're talking about, should you take money out of your retirement account? No, leave it in there. Then you're asking, like, should I liquidate it? You're starting to ask me questions about the future. Well, if Biden and Harris get elected, will my stocks go to, so I'm going to convert to money market? I don't answer those questions. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. You got to figure that out yourself. But I can tell you this, leave it the fuck in the IRA, right? And then if you're really worried about political risk, this is what you're talking, where they're just going to steal your shit, you got to invest outside of the United States. That's my next operation, among all the other operations. That's what Cappy's doing next. I get to go do global reconnaissance. Yay. Are you going to sit and enjoy? No, I mean, it's going to be work. It's going to be traveling around the country, the world. But yeah, when you think that I know what I'll do. I'll take it from one financial institution. I'll put it in another financial institution and then they won't take my money. It's like, yeah, the government will take your money. So there you go. All right. No super chat. All right, cool. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.